Are you here because you need some help teaching your child how to spit their toothpaste out? I'm Dr. McFarland. I'm a board-certified pediatric dentist practicing in the Eastern United States and a mom of 3 kids age 6 and under. And I've gotcha. Let's talk about how to teach your child to spit. But first, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, please do. I've got lots of useful content for caregivers on how to take care of their child's teeth and mouth. And be sure to find me on TikTok and Instagram if you haven't as the Mama Dentist. Many parents are concerned about their child's inability to spit when they're using fluoridated toothpaste especially. The label does say to contact a poison center after all, so that's sort of freaking people out, right? The risk though with fluoride is with ingesting too much. The dose is what is key. Typically if a child swallows just a little too much, they get a hold of that tube and take a swig, they're going to have some stomach upset, but it's not going to threaten their life. Most poison control centers are just going to recommend that the child drink some milk. The calcium is going to bond with that negatively charged fluoride ion and you'll be good to go. But be sure if they do swallow more than just what's used in the pea size or grain of rice size amount, you can contact that poison control center and make sure everything's all right. But don't fret, it is okay for the child to swallow a little bit of toothpaste. We expect them to, especially under age 3. They just aren't able to spit well. But beyond age 3, maybe even around age 2, if you're looking at trying to teach them how to spit, I've got a few tips and tricks that I've used along the way that have produced success for a lot of children, including my own. But I want you to understand that most children do not spit successfully, very well, thoroughly, until about 6 years of age. As with other fine motor skills, the coordination of their hands, so like tying shoes, that doesn't come online for a while. It takes time, it takes practice. So do not be concerned if your 2-year-old, 3-year-old cannot spit. Most kiddos can't spit very well, but that doesn't mean it's not worth practicing and trying to build that skill. You can work on strengthening oral-motor musculature, so blowing bubbles is wonderful. Teaching them how to use a straw to be successful with drinking from a straw, that's also working on that musculature. And then the direct act of spitting out that toothpaste, I've got 2 things you can try. They involve putting something in your sink. This is why we don't prescribe prescription strength toothpaste or fluoride mouthwash for children under age 6, simply because they are not able to fully expectorate or spit out all of that toothpaste that's in their mouth, and we don't want a higher concentration of fluoride because again, it's all dose dependent. We don't want too much fluoride in their mouth and them to risk swallowing it. But the over-the-counter toothpaste at the regular old 1100 parts per million, that is okay for a child to be practicing spitting and not fully get all of it out. The grain of rice size is for ages 2 and under, and that is because we're pretty much expecting them to swallow almost all of it. So my little trick for teaching children how to spit is to put something in the sink for them to aim at. You can use something that's going to form the proper shape of their mouth for spitting. A foam or vinyl number 2 or a turtle. And you can have them when they're finished with brushing say 2 into the sink, 2, 2, or turtle, turtle, turtle into the sink. You can stick a vinyl number 2 into the sink and just leave it there. That's what I've done in my kids' bathroom. Or you can take it out and wash it and have it be something like this. The turtle is especially fun for 3 to 6 kind of age range because it's silly and you can use a voice like, oh no, they're coming back. Don't let them spit on me again. You know, just be silly about it, making it fun, just incorporating it every day into their routine. They will get there with time. But this orofacial musculature, there are lots of muscles involved and it is difficult. I mean, you don't see little kids whistling or blowing up balloons. That's just hard to do, and spitting is using that same motion. So blowing bubbles, practicing drinking from a straw, and then a turtle or the number 2 can be helpful for teaching spitting. 2 into the sink. And you can make it target practice. That makes it even more fun that you have a competition between siblings of who can hit the 2 the most times. And that can make spitting just a little bit more fun and something that they can work on. And if they don't do a good job, it's okay. They're practicing and they're having fun. Now, what if your child is 5 or 6 and they see older sibling or they have friends using mouthwash, or the dentist says they're high cavity risk, maybe we can use a mouthwash, but are they spitting effectively? How do you know? Are they able to rinse with mouthwash and spit it out? My eldest was like 5.5 when he started being willing and interested in wanting to use mouthwash, and we did this test to see if he was able. Let me show you how you can tell pretty quickly and easily if your child is ready or not to use something like prescription toothpaste, if your dentist recommends it, or a fluoridated mouthwash. So Kids Fluoride Mouthwash Act is my favorite brand, typically contains sodium fluoride in the strength of 0.05%. This is why if you're an adult that uses mouthwash and you want an anti-cavity mouthwash, look at the kids ones, because not all grown-up ones have the highest concentration, which is 0.05%. Can you see up here? 0.05% sodium fluoride, which is 0.02% of the fluoride ion. A lot of the adult ones say 0.02% sodium fluoride. So it's less of that fluoride ion. And a lot of people tend to like its flavors better. So live your best life. Use a kids flavored mouthwash. If you have cavities or your child is prone to cavities, this can be a great thing to add to their routine. Now, when do you want to use mouthwash? Do you need to use mouthwash? It really depends on your dentist's recommendations. We tend to recommend it for children who are higher risk for cavities. You're already getting fluoride from the toothpaste, and if they've gotten really good about spitting and you're not rinsing afterwards and if they don't need to rinse, because rinsing with water after washes away the fluoride that removes that benefit. Fluoride takes time to work, so you want to be out of the habit of rinsing with water after. If they need to rinse, you'd want to use a fluoride mouthwash. But a lot of people after brushing their teeth can brush and spit and walk away. You just leave that last little bit of toothpaste film, but you don't need to rinse. Mouthwash may not be a necessary part of your routine or your child's routine, so ask your dentist. You want to use it for specific indications and typically for a brief therapeutic period if it's something like bad breath for a grown-up. But for kids, for high cavity risk, you might want to incorporate fluoride mouthwash. When you would use fluoride mouthwash would be after brushing teeth. If they really want to rinse, they just feel gross having those bubbles from the toothpaste, or at a different time of day. So you can use fluoride mouthwash after they get home from school or after they have a snack, just some time to get them a little extra fluoride in there if they are higher risk for cavities. And the way that you figure out if they are ready to use it is this. All you need is a Sharpie and a little Dixie cup you can write on and your mouthwash. What I like about ACT is they have a little dosage line for you. You squeeze it to fill it up to the fill line, and then you will pour it in the Dixie cup. Here we go. We're going to pour it in the Dixie cup, and that is the amount, the dose that the child needs. You're going to mark it on the Dixie cup with a line. So mark it with a line so we know where that mouthwash was and where we want it to return. So if you want to see if your child is able to rinse and swish and spit it all out, here's how you know. Have them rinse with that mouthwash. And then spit it out. And if that line, they get it all back to that line, they are ready. They have graduated. They're able to use mouthwash if they are consistently able to do that. So you might test them a few times, maybe, under pressure if they do it well once and then other times they're swallowing it. So check them. But if they can consistently do that, they spit it all back to that line, you are ready to start using mouth rinse. Lots of fun flavors from ACT Kids. And I have several of them linked in my shop, themomadentist.com. They are affiliate linked through Amazon, but I would appreciate if you want to or choose to support me in that way. You can also find ACT Kids though at any brick and mortar store. Easy to find, it's everywhere. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, so the dose of fluoride in this, they are taking 10 milliliters or 2 tablespoons of mouth rinse at a time, and the amount of fluoride in that is comparable to what is in a pea-sized amount of toothpaste. So that is why if your child likes to rinse after using toothpaste, instead of using water, just have them rinse with this, and they're gonna have that same level of fluoride. So they are okay. That is the one exception. A 0.05% sodium fluoride rinse is acceptable to use after toothbrushing because you're gonna have that same level of fluoride still there on the teeth, working to remineralize and strengthen your enamel. I hope you found this video helpful, showing you how to teach a child to spit, and then also how to tell when they're ready to use fluoride mouth rinse or fluoridated prescription toothpaste. Up next, I've got a video with my favorite hack for medication delivery, especially for a young child. You can deliver medicine through a medicine syringe and where to place that syringe to have the best chance of success.